KFMA. We're a Valley Tucson, an Arizona Lotus Corp radio station. Listen online at KFMA.com. You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Tuesday, May 28th. Good morning, Rico.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. It's good to be back. Sorry to leave you there for a few days. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend, you know, honoring all veterans. That's what the KFMA page said. Anyways, I hope you had extended time with your family. It's a way to kick off the summer. It's an unofficial start of the summer in Arizona. A lot of people in pools, barbecuing, doing the deed, right? And we took 5 days off because I had to do a little graduation party and stuff, and it was good. I'm feeling refreshed, ready to give out a bunch of tickets, hit the ground running, get ready for my favorite band in 2024, performing at Club Congress tonight, Dead Poet Society.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. But yes, I leave for a couple days and everything goes to hell in a handbasket. You know what I mean? I know. Now, full disclosure, I don't have any managerial responsibilities here at Arizona Lotus whatsoever. But I do feel like, it's my humble opinion, that this ship would be ran a little bit better if I had a little more say-so around here, right? A little more oversight, you know?
If I ruled the world.
In a way, as I did notice yesterday before I went to the Pizza Throwdown at Fresco. Shout out to everyone there, too. I'm starting off the day with a massive pizza bloat. But I did notice on my way out the door, a KFMA posting a Memorial Day post saying, honoring all who served Memorial Day. And I'm like, no, not really. That's not what Memorial Day is about. You know, Veterans Day is honoring all who served. There's two separate days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a common mistake that makes us look like effing morons, first off, especially any, veterans out there. Yes, every day, it's nice to honor a veteran who, served for this country, especially if they did any overseas tours. And yeah, we have plenty of, family members and crew that are veterans that, did all that. So we respect and appreciate all that they did. Memorial Day is to remember those who lost their lives while serving for this country. There's a big difference between the two. And it's not
kinda, yeah.
Yeah. So, when you post something like that, it shows that A, you don't know what we're celebrating Memorial Day for. B, you don't like putting in 30 seconds worth of Google research. All right. And C, you just went and grabbed a stock image and again, just threw it up there. All right. So it's a bad look. It's a bad look, but, it did get some likes. So I guess,
was there any scathing comments, or was it one of those things people just ignored?
Yeah, people just ignored it.
Okay,
I think there was enough
enough
ignorance all the way across the board. And maybe I'm nitpicking because I'm over the age of 42. And I'll get to a story that explains we start getting negative at 42 a little bit later on in the day.
You just got to put that actually name on there.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was posted on all Lotus stations. So, we got another one right here. This is the KLPX one. Same graphic, everything. It's just slow copy paste. Again, and I'm not a manager, but if I had a little bit of oversight, right, I'd say, hey, actually, instead of doing the absolute bare minimum,
just a little bit.
Just try a little bit. Let's just pretend you get paid for this job, because yeah, because I seen your truck. It's a pretty nice truck. So let's pretend
it's got a Hemi.
Yeah, let's pretend that you're putting in effort to earn money to pay for that truck, as opposed to just getting free money and F you to everybody else. Let's just pretend that.
Just skating by with the bare minimum is the American way, Beef.
I guess. I'll get there someday. I don't think so. I think I'm going to lose my job for giving effort.
Too much care.
Yeah, giving extra effort.
I've learned that lesson many times.
Yes, I look around here and I see bare minimum getting paid a lot, and I'm giving extra effort, getting paid a little. And when I ask for a little bit more, they're like, "No, you put in too much effort." Yeah, I know. This is where we're going. So it's a sprint to the finish line when I do this here. Like I said, I do have pizza bloat this morning because Fresco had their pizza throwdown. So shout out to all those pizza vendors that came out to Fresco last night to put together their best pie. Our good friend Rocco was out there with a carne asada pizza.
Dangerous.
My God. He had a margarita pizza that was to die for. We had Zio Pepe, last year's champion. They busted out their birria pizza again. Fresco had a pizza that was prime rib French onion soup pizza.
What?
Yes.
Good Lord.
My God. I could not get enough of that, dude.
It almost seems comical when they unveil it sometimes. You're like, what is this?
Unbelievable. Bailey's, there was Bollywood pizza, so it was like Indian style pizza we were talking about with Tucson Foodie last week. That was phenomenal. All around, it was so good. So I love me some pizza, and I just wanted to give that little shout out. I'll post some pictures of some of my favorites. It wasn't the best pictures.
Did you have to pace yourself?
See, here's the thing, and I saw Lindy from Thunder Bacon Burger Company there. He was sitting down halfway through because, like we all go in with the same mindset. Like, look, this is literally an unlimited amount of gluttony, right? It is like an all-you-can-eat event, pizza and beer.
Yeah,
and then when they're giving out these samples, they're not sample sizes, they're full slices, right? So everyone goes in with the idea that you got to pace yourself, right? But everyone forgets that after like the first bite, and then the next thing you know, you're just scarfing full slices, and you're 5 minutes in, you're like,
yeah.
And that's what happened. And it's not that like every vendor, I think there's about 8 vendors there, right, that are all competing for best pizza. And it's not that they each had one slice from each. That's a whole pizza, by the way. Right. So the 8 slices in a pie.
Checks out.
Right. But they each had at least 2 different styles of pizza. So
that'd be 3 full pizzas you ate.
Well, no, 2 if you do the math, but like you doubled it up. If you wanted to be a very accurate judge, because every single person there was weighing in their vote, it's a popular vote type of competition, and you had to try everything that they had to offer. So, you had to go and say, okay, I had this slice. Now I got to get this other slice from Rocco's. Like I said, Rocco's had 2. He had carne asada and he had a margarita. Yeah. And it was amazing. Right. But I had to have 2 of those, and I had to have 2 from Zio Pepe and 2 from everywhere.
Oh, well, quick question. Was Rocco's deep dish or was it regular New York style slice?
It was somewhere in the middle, dude.
Oof.
I know.
So you can't just say, we just had 1 slice of Rocco's. You're like, that's a lot.
No, his pizza was just like you like your girls. Thick, but not too thick. Right? Yeah, not deep dish thick, but thick enough to have some fun. So, yes, shout out to all the pizza vendors. Thank you guys for letting me come out and enjoy some gluttony. All right, so here we go. Let's get right. All right, we're live on the podcast broadcast. Got to get ready for this tease here, but welcome back. And I know you enjoy those graphics, right? We got a couple that I'm going to showcase for you here in a little bit. Yes. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're live on the new and improved podcast broadcast. What's the new and improved part? Well, same great show, but new great lyrics, greater lyrics, graphics. If you will. You're going to have to see it to believe it. YouTube.com/beefvegan. Coming up next, what every guy needs in his car, and the mystery of Morgan Spurlock, who passed away at 53 years old. But did he die of a fast food diet, or was there more to it? Oh, yeah. We're going to look back in the life of Morgan Spurlock here on the podcast broadcast. And then, of course, your list of what every guy needs in his car or in the trunk of his car. And no, a person is not on that list. Damn. So we're going to go do that list right after Bad Omens, The Death Peace of Mind on Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. All right, clear. Tripping on that because I'm full disclosure, I'm filled with like cheese and bread and just holding it all in,
pizza brain.
Yeah. Oh my God. So much pizza. Like I said, that prime for me, that prime rib French onion soup pizza from Fresco was the winner. And that was to top, to top some very great pizzas from our usual suspects, because Zio Pepe had excellent pizzas, and of course Rocco, that carne asada pizza and that margarita pizza. I was still like thinking about it this morning, but that prime rib pizza that Chef Matt Cable whipped together with leftover prime rib was
damn.
Yeah, I was so full when I was leaving, but I almost grabbed a slice to go, and
your future self is going to appreciate that.
I was just like, I don't care if this makes me feel like I'm going to burst at the seams. I got to have a little bit more of that flavor in my mouth.
I could think of worse ways to go out.
Yeah. All right. So you love this new layout, huh? You like that? So, let me show you. That's JJ, by the way. So I'll show you. There's a couple other options here. And then we're still working on the kinks because this is the 2-person layout. We're still got to figure out a 3-person layout, because if we do 3 people, then it just kind of turns into black screen, right? And so we got the GTA 5 version. There's actual cars behind here too. Yeah, you don't see them right now, but if we were just like, we're about to start it up, here's this. And then there was cool sound effects that Rico did, but he didn't realize you can't hear us when we're not in the screen.
I was doing my Best Miami Vice soundtrack.
Yeah, so that's the GTA 5 version. And this, what would you describe this as?
High school girl, first dorm room. I don't know.
There's a less creepier description we could have for this, right?
It's not creepy. It's just making fun of the neon and purple hues, but okay.
High school girl,
college girl. This looks like a young girl's dorm room with neon.
Yeah, let's say college girl at least. Okay. Just this is on the internet. I don't know.
I like Chris Hansen.
I don't want Chris Hansen to show up to you. I like the brick background. I like that one too. Which one is your favorite? Star Trek doors. Was how David described it. That was pretty good. Okay, and you're not JJ. But okay.
Butter quality assurance.
Yes, there you go.
Dahmer closet.
Dark mode is the best mode. Okay, which one was dark mode? First one, second one, third one. GTA 1 is too bright. Fair enough. All right, that's good to know. All right, we're kind of just basically checking out all these different graphics that Rico worked on for the backdrop of our podcast broadcast and asking you guys, our streamers, which one you think is your favorite. But it looks very cool, man. Everything's moving. You got all the, a neon podcast broadcast. We're stepping it up in 2024.
I asked Beef how much neon. He goes, yes.
That's how you get that. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, let me ask you something real quick, Rico. What do you have in your truck as far as survival things?
Compound bow, water jugs, flares.
Okay.
Yeah.
A compound bow, huh?
Yeah. You never know.
I guess. There is a list. I know a lot of people did road trips over the weekend for Memorial. But before you go on a road trip, there's a list that every man should have in his car at all times. And, I'm going to go through some of these, and you just let me know if you have this in your car or not. And I'll do the same. Okay. Starting off with the first one, unfortunately, I don't even think I have this in my car, which makes me feel like less of a man. Jumper cables.
Yeah.
Okay. You got those?
Uh-huh.
All right. All right. And then there's no need to tell you why. You should have jumper cables. All right.
Why would you ever do that?
I know. A spare tire and jack.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't even think I have that, man. I think you got jacked by tweakers. They say a spare set of earbuds, because music makes the trip go faster. But more importantly, if you got a kid in the car, it could be a lifesaver and a sanity restorer. So,
okay.
Yeah. And so
practical, sure.
Yeah. Tire pressure gauge.
Uh-huh.
And possibly the best $2 you'll ever spend.
Seriously.
And you have one of those then, huh?
Yep.
Okay. What about a warm blanket?
I think a space blanket. Yeah.
What's a space blanket?
The emergency blankets, like the tinfoil space ones.
Oh, you have one of those?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So did this come with the truck, or did you buy a survival kit?
I think I bought one a long time ago off Amazon, like a survival thingy.
Okay.
So
something to think about getting for your for Father's Day or whatnot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basic toolkit. So you won't be doing like heavy duty car maintenance with it, but it can sure help you get through the small stuff when trouble shows itself. Right?
Check.
What about this one? Cash. They say $20 is enough, but having it handy is nice when you encounter that one place that doesn't take cards. So to have like emergency money in your car is a good idea.
I just usually carry that in my wallet to begin with.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Flashlight. Do you have a flashlight?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, so you are the manliest person I know so far. What about an umbrella?
Standard. Actually, I do.
What do you do?
Yeah. Well, it just stays there all year long.
Yeah, I've seen your truck.
So.
You're basically hoarding at this point.
Basically.
All right, measuring tape. Shut up.
Swear to God.
Is that in that kit too?
No, it's in the glove compartment thing.
Oh, what do you use measuring tape for?
Just whenever I get insecure about my life, I just whip out my junk.
Yeah, and measure it real quick while you're driving down the road.
Yep.
Well, let's say you need to get something large at the hardware store, but you don't know if it'll fit in your car. Nah.
Like, hold on a minute, Edward. I'll be right back.
All right. First aid kit.
Kind of. Not really.
Okay. Well, that's good. It's okay. Considering you just checked off 10 in a row, I think it's okay to miss one.
The most important one.
Right.
Yeah.
Bottled water or food.
Yep.
Okay.
A big jug, like a 2-gallon.
Yeah, I have water in my car as well.
Good. It's Arizona, you should.
Yes, always. But it's usually like leftover water, but still, you can survive off it. Let's see.
Microplastics.
They say an atlas. You should have an atlas in your map. So who needs one of those when you got Google Maps? But if you find yourself in a dead zone and you get lost and your smartphone battery dies somehow, an atlas. I wouldn't do an atlas. I don't even know if you know how to read.
Exactly. That's what scares people. Like, I don't even know how to read this thing.
Yeah.
North to west, south. What?
Road flares.
Yep.
Jesus. Self-care, especially if you're dating in the dating scene, like breath mints, gum, tweezers.
Oh, I thought you meant like a podcast, like self-care.
No.
You're a good person.
Hand sanitizer, things like that.
No, actually, I don't have any hand sanitizer.
Okay.
I just use oil.
All right. Weatherproof matches.
No.
Okay, good. Because if you would have said yes to that, I would have slapped you. I know you're
like,
lying.
prove it.
Yeah, exactly. Pen, small notebook. So you'll be glad you have that when you need to copy someone's license plate in a rush, if you witness like a hit and run, or if you want to leave a note like a Karen.
Right.
And this last one, you don't even have to admit to having this. I know you do, only because you scare me. Duct tape.
No.
Yeah.
Gorilla tape.
Whatever's strongest, make sure they don't get
way
their
better.
hands free.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. The list of what every man needs in his car. I have probably 2 out of all that list.
We'll get you. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. Well, Rico, on the other hand, has all of them. So, all right, coming up next, we'll give you an update on the woman who's selling bathwater and how she's getting ripped off from the money that she's been making and so much more. But you could join us on the podcast broadcast as we'll keep the conversation moving and talk about Morgan Spurlock. What really did hit him in? Was it the 30 days of McDonald's or something else? We'll talk about that next on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/bevegan. Clear. Now, I know that you actually did a conspiracy theory on this. Right.
I had to have some fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see what Rico had to say about
Morgan Spurlock.
Morgan Spurlock and the news that Spurlock passed at 53 years old, which is way too young. Super sad too. Now you know him from the movie Super Size Me. He was the guy that decided to ask the question, what would happen if you ate nothing but McDonald's for 30 days?
I think most of the comments I was laughing at too were kids that went to high school when that came out or elementary. They're like, yeah, OG for the health class, video roll in. Because that's all they showed for the kids for health class.
Yeah. Well, and full disclosure, it wasn't 100% accurate. And they found that out afterwards. And Morgan Spurlock actually confessed this and kind of got canceled a couple times over. His life was mirrored with controversy. He kept continuing. He had like sexual assault allegations against him.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Jeez.
dude, a lot of bad things. So here's what Rico said on the conspiracy theory.
Spurlock, documentarian known for Super Size Me, dies at 58.
Whoops.
Okay, tinfoil hat time.
Yeah.
Bear with me. Was it cancer? Or was it the clown? Now keep in mind, this has a lot to do with my ever-growing distrust in corporate America and their ever-so-growing appetite for homicide. Now imagine you're Ronald, the big cheese, the head honcho, El Jefe, McDonald, and you see this kind of bad press every single week and you think to yourself, no. We gotta get back into the hearts and minds of every single American. We need to control the narrative. He's all, hey, come on, guys. Remember the Grimace Shake? Everybody loved that. That was so funny and fun, and everybody bought one. And that's when it hit the clown in the head. He goes, wait a minute. You know what sells? Irony. It's dumb, impressionable cattle. These damn TikTokers. They're gonna buy it not because they like it. They're gonna buy it because it gives them attention on the TikToks. So how can we do that again? It's simple. We kill the fat man. You see? Boom. Done. And right on time. Look at that. A new promo while we're in the public discourse. Cool. Smiling question is, who did it?
Oh, that damn Hamburglar.
Or was it Big Perp? Or do you think Big Ronnie had the balls to do it himself? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. More
Jesus. You're a maniac.
The music.
Yeah. So there's a conspiracy theory of the day from Rico and his reels. So let's talk about Morgan Spurlock. Okay, so first off, his confessions. He admitted to a history of sexual misconduct and alcoholism. In fact, actually, he stated that he started drinking heavily since the age of 13 and rarely spent more than a week sober for 30 years. Yeah, so even while he was doing the documentary Super Size Me, and the doctors were asking, they're like, do you have the liver of an alcoholic? Have you been drinking? And he was like, no, not at all, actually. It's just this McDonald's. It was not, in fact, the McDonald's. It was the liver of an alcoholic, right? But it's not that his movie had a negative impact on society, because Super Size Me was a massive success. I think it banked $22 million off like of a $67,000 budget. So it made a lot of money for Morgan Spurlock. And then immediately after, McDonald's quietly pulled their supersize promotion from the public. So you can't get things supersized anymore, because they realized with this documentary, it being exaggerated or not, that it was a little too gluttonous to offer that much fries and everything else, right?
Right.
So the revelations cast out on, basically the legitimacy of the documentary, particularly his claim of having no pre-existing health problems before the experiment. Now, the methodology was questioned. Critics have long questioned the accuracy of his dietary logs during the experiment, and his undisclosed alcohol consumption could have contributed to several health issues, such as liver damage depicted in the film. The reactions and consequences of this, following his confessions, YouTube and other broadcasters cut ties with Spurlock, and plans to screen his sequel, Super Size Me 2, were dropped. Now, even though he did release a Super Size Me 2, and it involved the chicken craze, chicken sandwiches, which I watched that. And I found it pretty fascinating.
What was the main attack on that? Just the unhealthiness of chicken sandwiches?
No, actually, just the industry of big poultry and how we are getting our basically how these chickens are bred and raised, and it's really disgusting.
Kind of like an attack on factory farming, basically.
Yes, okay, that's what it came down to. And then he opened up his own little chicken restaurant, and people loved it. They're like, it's delicious chicken.
These were happy chickens.
Yeah. And that's what it was. He kind of had this like lies, and it was under the guise of it being like farm raised chicken,
right?
Which it was, but it was like a fucked up farm, right? Of course. It's very interesting. I would watch Super Size Me too if I was you, even though, Morgan Spurlock was a flawed human being. Now, while some argue Spurlock's experiment and the documentary have fundamental flaws, others acknowledge that it still highlighted important issues about fast food consumption and public health. And it did have somewhat of a positive effect. Like I said, McDonald's did pull their supersized promotion, and that's a big deal. But, unfortunately, if you wanted to try to connect the dots and saying, he ate 30 days of fast food, which led to cancer. No, it's probably the other unhealthy lifestyle habits that Morgan had that led to his demise. Right. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, it was interesting that you did throw out that $5 promotion at the end of your viral video clip. Because, franchisees are not happy about that $5 promotion. And not every McDonald's is going to do that. The reality is every McDonald's franchisee, they own it and they set their own prices. I just recently found this out. And, that's why you can go different McDonald's in Tucson and pay different prices.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. It's not a universal thing. Their profit margin is up to the individual franchisee, but their price is going up based off the cost. So McDonald's unveiling this, summer long promotion. It's going to be summer long for some restaurants. It's going to be a couple weeks for others, and it's going to be non-existent for some. And it's really going to be up to the franchisee to decide whether or not they want to participate. And they're up in arms over this because they're like, hey, this is not just a loss leader. We're going to lose a lot of money.
So it'll just drive people to their competitors right down the road at McDonald's, other McDonald's.
Yeah, but I guess someone's got to come up with an app that is like cheapest McDonald's near me,
Right.
considering that they all have different
Sad.
voices
Let me
or
run
different
that app.
prices.
Just end it for me.
Yeah, but the overall the pushback on this is all these franchise owners are just furious that McDonald's as a corporation can really roll out this promotion that they're just like, wait, we can't afford this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Papa Clown putting his D on the table.
Yeah.
Got to do it.
I know.
But now it just makes sense at participating locations. I never paid attention to that. Now I'm like, this kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's really up to each individual location to decide whether or not they want to be a participating location.
You know what's crazy with these fast food wars too? It's like the cool kid in the corner that's not getting any shine right now is In-N-Out Burger. You go there, it's the same prices.
Yeah, and
it's the best.
Yeah,
it's great.
Pretty cheap. I know.
It's way better.
Well, that's because it's still privately owned.
Yeah.
So as soon as something goes public and it's a bunch of stockholders that want profit margins to go up, that's when corporate greed comes in.
Okay, stay private, In-N-Out. Please.
And I look at the sole owner of In-N-Out, this blonde girl who's basically like somebody very obtainable, right? She's around my age, and someone I could see me dating. Like she's cute, but she's not like too hot, right? She's a little chunky, like she's
not bombshell, but not gremlin.
She's like average lady hot, right?
Yeah.
Someone that if I was like, hey, this is my girlfriend, like you guys would say like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that. I can see how you guys get along, right?
Not how did he do that?
Yeah, right. And I've only had a few experiences of that in the past. Normally, it's just like, yeah, I see it. But so she's a billionaire. She was one of the youngest billionaires in the country because of her grandfather's, business. And she inherited all of it. And, since then, she's done pretty good things, humanitarianly speaking, because she is a woman. So she ends up, donating to proper causes. But she also has terrible taste in men. She's dated some race car drivers.
Really?
Things, yeah, that broke her heart. And I want to just say, and I know I don't know her name right off the bat, but I won't break your heart.
Yeah.
If owner of In-N-Out, if you're watching this somehow.
She is.
Yeah. I love your burgers. I would eat your burger every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never break your heart.
And I will do it animal style every night.
Animal style every single night.
We're going to email this to her. Don't worry.
Yes.
Tweet her. You're looking for love in all the right places.
And don't change. Don't ever change, girl. Don't change that business model. Don't change those prices.
I want to know your secret menu.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
smooth.
girl.
That's so smooth, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
You want to see what In-N-Out's all about?
Yeah.
Ooh.
We got about 5 seconds, and I want to talk about the mystery of killer whales attacking boats because we got an answer. Yeah. Rock 102.1 KF, man. If you've been following the show for the past couple of years, we're fascinated about orcas, killer whales attacking boats, and throughout the world. And this has been a growing phenomena over the past, few years. And scientists and marine biologists are wondering why, and they feel like they have an answer. And I think this answer not only explains why this is happening, is so fascinating in so many different ways. And then it gives you kind of insight to how these mammals, these killer whales, these orcas are very similar to us human beings, and how we follow trends. Okay. So the theory is the reason why killer whales are attacking these rudders on boats is not done out of maliciousness, not with evil intent. It's because they're teenagers who are bored and they're playing with the rudder.
What?
Yes, and I'll explain.
Damn kids.
As to why they're doing this. Now, they say that the ocean itself is a very boring place for a mammal species. It's wide, it's huge, it's ever expansive. There's not much going on. Right. And, when there are times when they have to hunt for food and there's a low food population of a certain tuna that the whales eat, then they're spending all their time basically hunting to eat.
Right.
But right now there's an overabundance of tuna. It's like a surplus. So they don't have to hunt to eat as much.
Oh.
The food's right there. So there's a lot of downtime for these killer whales. That's when they speculate that one of those whales, during the time when he was full and just sitting around in this wide open, boring ass wasteland that is our ocean, saw a rudder and said, let me mess with this for a little bit.
What does this thing do?
Yeah. And they started messing with it, and it had some fun. So it was basically a game. And then this became a trend So essentially, this is like the I guess the orca TikTok equivalent of something growing in fashion. Now, to kind of back this theory up, scientists did mention that in the 80s, and you guys could look this up, there was an odd phenomenon that was happening amongst teenage orcas back then where they would wear salmon on their head, like a salmon hat. Yes, I'm not joking, dude. You can look this up.
Ocean TikTok, here we come.
Yes. So basically, there was a generation in the 80s. You could equivalent this to like the orca's version of the mullet in the 80s. Some orca was bored, put a salmon on its head, and was like, check out my new look. And other orcas are like, that's funny. I'm gonna do it too. And they did. And they did it for a couple of years until it fell out of style.
Wow.
So scientists are theorizing that, for all these yachters out there, these people who are afraid to go to the sea because their ship might get attacked by orcas, to just ride it out because in a couple of years, they'll get over that trend or they'll grow out of it.
Sounds very sciencey.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I trust you.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
The boulder attacks were investigated by a group of 15, mostly juvenile and teen whales between the ages of 5 and 18. They approached the vessel slowly to supposedly nudge their nose gently against the rudders. And a marine biologist reported that although adult females have been observed in the area at the time of the attack, they seem to just kind of be keeping an eye on the kids who are doing the actual playing.
Just supervising?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're just watching their kids F around.
Kids being kids.
Uh-huh. So isn't that amazing? Because they're still mammals.
It's insane.
Yeah. So there you go.
I just wish I knew how to spot them out. Like, are they jobless orcas, young, face tattoos?
If they got orca acne, right? And possibly like a nose ring, then you be careful. Your ship's going to be attacked.
Yep.
But if they look mature, they got like a monocle and a smoking pipe, don't worry.
You're good.
You're good.
They're over that phase.
That's a mature orca right there.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
I didn't know you were a marine biologist.
Yeah, I dabble.
You're very talented.
I dabble. Yeah, I once removed a golf ball from a blowhole. Actually,
Really?
that was George Costanza.
I digress.
Yeah. We're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here because you got music on the way from Lit on Rock 102.1.
We should find a marine biologist to bring on here and just pick their brain.
Yeah. Well,
an animal segment.
I'm sure they're fascinated about that too.
Yeah.
Ward says that McDonald's increased profits in 2023 by about 10% to $22.5 billion. That's globally, but yes, you're right. And they have. And the reason for the $5 meal deal, which, franchisees owners are complaining about, is to counter the $20 combo meals that we see for the Big Mac or something. Mm-hmm. But it's a double cheeseburger, an ordered nuggets, a small fry, and a drink. It's basically like what Wendy's have been doing for years. And McDonald's argument's like, come on, you're not spending that much for chicken nuggets, right? It's like we take some paste, put it in nugget form. It costs pennies on the dollar.
Right.
We can give this shit away all day long.
Yeah.
It's cheaper than the toy that comes in the Happy Meal. What's the big deal? Right? Look at that.
True.
Dropping facts, dropping knowledge. All right. With that, Rico drops some knowledge today. He had a 5-star review on H&M.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's a lunatic. If you don't believe me, check this out. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That was Lincoln Park with Numb. It is now 7:15. And as you guys know by now, my good friend Rico likes to go out to different establishments throughout the old Pueblo. And when he has a good experience, he immediately rushes to Google to leave a review. And he's got one to share with us today. Who did you review this week, Rico?
This week, I went to a little place called H&M.
Oh, H&M.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you stepping up your F-boy game. I like it. Tell me all about your experience at H&M.
All right. So it was Memorial Day weekend, and there was no better way to honor those who have fallen, those who have sacrificed life and limb, those who had endured hellish turmoil in the pits of despotic despair, those who had their souls shattered by the chaotic screams and undeterred bloodlust of hell-bent enemies sent to destroy the very fabric of our identity. Those who chose to leave behind any semblance of peace and humanity in order to defend God, country, and family under the machinations of madness and unfathomable death and destruction, than to seek out some amazing deals that stores are offering right now.
What? Yeah, Jesus.
They sacrificed it all so we could continue to enjoy our way of life. And the way of life in 2024 is being a greasy, fat, dopamine-addicted consumerist sociopath. So who am I to throw that all away? Come on, man. I didn't feel like walking a hot car lot with some Sigma male with armpit sweat telling me about Memorial Day Jeep sales and how he's willing to take $15 off the listing price of a 2023 Grand Cherokee. So I decided to head over to Park Place Mall to get my steps in and enjoy some semi-functioning AC. I always like to take it all in, the sights and the sounds, the echoes of screaming children, the open-mouthed, lifeless eyes of middle-aged men with horrible posture and plaid shorts holding a pink bag from Victoria's Secret while their sweaty fupa wife dips pretzel bites into a cheese cup as they both begrudgingly march ahead. The 200-yard stare of kiosk merchants that just gave up because hawking phone cases and vapes just isn't doing it for them anymore.
Nope.
I used to go to the mall for unsolicited capitalistic catcalls, but now even that is gone.
Oh.
I miss the old days where they would straight up stalk you for 10 minutes and then grab your arm so they could just smear you with Calvin Klein 1 cologne and guilt trip you into a purchase.
Good old days.
Now you have to pour ice water on them and do a Fortnite dance to even get them to notice you. Anyway, I was perusing the bright, shiny storefronts looking for something materialistic to place my personality with, but then I sipped my boba tea too fast and the boba ball went down the wrong tube. I was dry heaving and sucking in air and thought I was about to die as a large Mexican family walked by and said some very insulting and mocking things in Spanish. I found myself on the ground, sucking for air, staring up at the high-rise window ceiling as if the heavens were basking me in a warm glow before it all ended. If this is how I was going to go out, I had to make sure it wasn't in front of a hot topic. If they were going to find my body covered in vomit and boba balls, it was going to have to be somewhere more dignified. Thankfully, H&M was right next door.
Oh, yes.
There was a big sign that said 20% off Memorial Day sales, so I stomach crawled my way in as fast as possible. An employee named Jason, with a Y, welcomed me and asked if I needed help getting up. I said, "We could all use a little help sometimes, Jason." As I reached up. Then he walked away. I guess H&M stands for Heartless and Machiavellian.
Oh, no.
A manager came over as I dusted myself off and said, "Hi, sir. I'm Thaddeus. I was told you had quite the entrance a moment ago. Is there any way we can assist you today?" I didn't like his fancy tone, but I decided to play his little game anyway. "Well, hello, Thaddeus. Yeah, I was finishing my Memorial Day TikTok challenge. You know, the one that honors the fallen by crawling on our stomach in public areas for 300 feet to serve as an homage to the brave service members who made the ultimate sacrifice in battle. Do you know anything about that, Thaddeus?" No, sir. This is my first time hearing about it."
Yeah, I haven't heard of that either.
Knowledge is power, Thaddeus, and power is everything. You ever serve in the military, Thaddeus? "No, sir, I have not." "Well, I did a tour in Vietnam and Cambodia."
No, you didn't.
I felt bad for making it seem like I was a member of the armed services, but I did technically take a visiting tour of Vietnam and Cambodia recently.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
It's all semantics. He goes, "With all due respect, you look a little young for that specific war, sir."
Yeah, good call, Thaddeus.
And I go, "Are you questioning the size of my cojones, Thaddeus?"
Oh.
"I don't know what you're implying, sir. I'll tell you what, Thad. You give me a discount today and we'll pretend this conversation never happened. Don't Blue Falcon me on this." "Okay, how about 20% off?" "Perfect."
That's what it said on the sign,
I'm
dude.
happy to say I'm the new proud owner of a slim fit waffled polo shirt. Great store. 5 stars.
Oh, jeez. What is wrong with you? It's a real review that you can see when you search H&M at Park Place Mall. And if you come across Rico's review, make sure you give it a 5-star review as well. Let's hit the reset. And I'm going to console my friend and tell him how Stolen Valor, any Stolen Valor, is not good, especially on Memorial Day. All right. Let's hit the reset. We got music on the way from... it doesn't matter. All right, welcome. Yes. All right, so we are going to be doing Tap Out with Charles Chico on Thursday. So, yeah, we have that situated. We announced some tickets, which I am going to be giving away tickets here for Dirty Heads and Slightly Stupid, which I'll probably do right now, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm going to say on the air for that. It'll be something easy. Do caller number like 14. And then we announced Asking Alexandria is coming back to Rialto today. Well, they're not coming back today. They're coming to Rialto in October with Memphis Mayfire. That's a big show. And we gave out Godsmack tickets. The show tonight is Dead Poets Society, which I'm hopefully going to be talking with the band on the podcast either tomorrow morning or I'll pre-record it in the afternoon today. I'm looking forward to meeting the guys and seeing them tonight. But yeah, let me give out these tickets. Yeah, I'm on the Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. I should not culturally appropriate a reggae accent, but especially when announcing Dirty Heads and Slightly Stupid, because I have talked with every member of each band. None of them have an accent, except for like maybe like a SoCal type of vibe.
Yeah, you can still get a Jamaican card from them, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And we had an excellent interview with Jared Watkins of Dirty Heads a while back that if you're a Dirty Heads fan, you definitely want to watch that on our YouTube page, youtube.com/beefvegan. I mean, we broed down with them. It was a good time. And they're currently on tour with Slightly Stupid throughout the summer. And they announced that they're going to do a Phoenix stop as well at Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater on September 17th. If you want tickets to that show, then give me a call right now. We'll say caller number 12. I'll do 12. 600 KFMA, 600-5362. Call now if you want to go see Dirty Heads and Slightly Stupid. We got more coming up on the podcast broadcast. Coming up next, we're going to talk about a guy who was able to basically pull off a cyber attack on a cop who gave him a jaywalking ticket. This story is nuts. I can't wait to share with you after Buck Cherry on Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. All right, so I'm going to play some Morning More on here on the stream. Be back with that jaywalking story right after I get a winner. So check this out. A listener bait today. I got tickets to give away for Godsmack. Yes, I'm going to do that. And I have a big concert announcement. Some good friends of the show. And we're going to be giving away tickets for that. I'll announce that around 7 o'clock. So I think these are win them for you. Buy them tickets, I believe. I'm just making sure I don't get in trouble on my first day back. So we got lots of stuff to give away. Plus, it's Tuesday, so we'll do another round of tap out. All that more in store for you on this Tuesday morning, kicking things off with a little collective soul. Be back with your Morning More right after this. It's Rock 1 2.1 KFMA. You know the name of the show. Let's go! In time for your Morning More on. Let's do it. Oh, we all know about Karen's joking around about the emergency aisle. Have you ever sat in the emergency aisle of an airplane?
A few times. Because I'm a glutton for responsibility.
Yeah, like, and they'll ask you the question. They'll say, hey, sir, if you're going to sit here and enjoy this extra leg room, which we all covet so much, would you be willing to save lives in case of emergency? And what's your answer?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Easily.
You're like, what are the odds? I mean, honestly, like, if there is a catastrophic event, I'm sure, like, everyone's going down at the same time. This would be a moot point. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone would hold you responsible in that situation either if it was so chaotic that, it's not like there's going to be like stewardesses there to hold you accountable or flight attendants.
But that is a weird fear I have. Them calling me out afterwards. Like you said.
See, no,
I promised us. I
never think about this. Now, I've sat in every time I get the option and opportunity. I have absolutely sat in the emergency row and say, I'm here. I'm like a first responder. I'm here to save everyone's life. In the back of my mind, I know the probability is unlikely. And again, if we get into any scenario where I have to get the hell out of there, I might get the hell out of there, and then I'll deal with the repercussions afterwards. What I won't do though is reveal my cards ahead of time, right? And I'm just gonna let everyone feel at ease around me while I enjoy the extra leg room. The reason why I bring this up is because there was a woman who was on a flight that did not go by that, strategy whatsoever. In fact, it created a huge problem by being brutally honest when she was sitting in the emergency row, and they asked her if she would do the responsibilities of helping people out in case of emergency. And she's like, no, I'm not going to save anybody. If something happens, I'm going to save myself first.
Wow.
Right? Now, she said this out loud where a bunch of, people in the airplane heard her. And I'm sure there's some people who laughed about it.
Yeah, she went full Larry David on it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right. Now, the fact is, though, you don't have to admit that. Yeah, and the reality is 99% of people in this situation, if it was life or death, would do exactly what she's saying she's going to do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make her necessarily a bad person, and it doesn't make her a dishonest person. The dishonest thing would to lie and say that you would help everyone. KFMA. I have to interrupt the Morning Moron on the air. We do have a winner for those tickets. It's Ashley.
Yeehaw.
Let's see. Can I play this back real quick? Oh.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so Ashley just won those tickets, and it just so happens to be her birthday. So happy birthday to Ashley. And you just picked up tickets for Dirty Heads and Slightly Stupid, and that's happening in September at Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, which is huge. So you know that show is going to be fantastic. I've actually seen that lineup a couple times. It's so fun. All right, let me tell you this story of a man who pretty much got ultimate revenge on a police officer who gave him a jaywalking ticket, which jaywalking tickets are BS in most situations, right? Now, of course, they don't condone this, but at the same time, you're like, really? Because, there's been situations where, say you've been slighted by somebody, you've been wronged by somebody, and you want to get them back, but you can't, physically get them back. And, of course, there's laws and whatnot. But this story, this is all alleged, but it's still amazing, okay? So they say, hell have no fury like a jaywalker scorn. This back in October 2019, an officer identified as John Doe in legal documents cited John Christopher Spatafor for jaywalking in Fresno, California. Now, according to a new civil lawsuit, Spatafor was so furious about getting the ticket that he allegedly started a cyber campaign of harassment and revenge against the officer. Now, according to this suit, after the jaywalker citation was issued, the officer began receiving password reset codes, indicating that someone was trying to hack his email account. Over several days, this happened at least 10 times. Then phone calls, emails, and text messages started up. Allegedly, Spatafor unleashed thousands of information requests to car dealers, solar companies, and retailers.
Oh boy.
Right? This guy's like, you want to give me a jaywalking ticket? Fine. I'm going to make your life miserable. And you're going to get so much spam that you'll be so busy deleting spam emails that you won't be able to give anyone else another jaywalking ticket. The officer says that in one day he received 100 text messages to his personal phone.
Dang.
And that's one of those things, dude. You can't put it you can put it on silent, but you can't block these numerous calls because you never know what number it's coming from, right? And now there were also allegedly indications that Spatafor lurked outside the plaintiff's home trying to hack into their wireless internet. And I mean, he took it to extremes.
No kidding.
And then they say that a false police report was filed accusing the officer of being involved in a hit and run. Riding a police officer or a police motorcycle on a sidewalk without lights or sirens and appearing intoxicated on drugs while laughing aloud. Right? This guy did not stop.
No.
Allegedly, Spatafor also filed a second police report saying the officer's wife was a victim of domestic violence. And this guy's like, no.
All right, stop, dude.
Yeah.
You made your message clear.
Yeah, dude. You walk outside the crosswalk all you want, dude.
Oh, man.
Isn't this crazy?
That is.
They got to make this a show. They have to.
Oh.
Now, this suit also mentions the hospital Spatafor worked out, and where the computer was used for some of the harassment was allegedly used, right? So they kind of tracked him down. Spatafor has since been let go by the hospital. He was a hospital worker. And the hospital has refused to comment on the pending litigation. So he basically got caught, right?
Oof.
But at the same time, for years, this guy was so mad at the police officer giving him a ticket he felt was unjust that he went out of his way to make that cop's life a living hell.
You want a lifelong vendetta? I'll give you a lifelong vendetta.
Yeah. And normally I wouldn't condone this at all, but jaywalking tickets are such nonsense that I understand what the motive is, right? Not that I would do it and not that I condone it, but I understand the motive, right? Because just getting a ticket like that, I mean,
it'd be infuriating, but it's a thin line you cross.
Yeah.
To get to that point. You're like, I don't know if I'm willing to do all that, but this guy was.
It reminds me of the ticket that I received for, one of those stupid crosswalk stoplights.
Mm-hmm.
That the person was long gone walking. This is on Speedway. And then I slowed down at it and then I kept going. Just like everyone else, like kind of stop and go, but didn't make the stop. I got pulled over by a motorcycle cop. Yeah, kind of. But other cars were going through too. But I got pulled over. It was an expensive ticket.
Damn.
And I was furious. But the only thing that didn't make me mad in the moment was the cop shaking like he was scared to give me the ticket. Like, and I'm like, well, yeah, I was scared.
It's okay, buddy.
Yeah, he made me feel bad for him. Maybe that was a clever technique so he wouldn't get, cyber hacked and harassed, because I would have done it.
Or maybe it was a leather jacket you were wearing. Who knows?
How do you know? Anyways, yeah, so that's a crazy story that I want to see made into a Netflix show immediately. Speaking of Netflix shows, let's talk about tires on the podcast broadcast. Be back with our beef tip right after these words. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Have you watched that show yet?
No, I need to.
Yeah, it's funny.
Shane Gillis is like the golden child now. Anything he's in, I'm like, I'm in.
He's on fire right now.
I love that man.
And it's funny, and it's broken a lot of records on Netflix as far as most streamed comedy sitcom, if you want to call it sitcom. It's 6 episodes. You know what I like about this show is that it reminds me of my friends doing basically DIY self-produced shows.
Mm-hmm.
And it has that kind of quality to it. Like, you could tell that it's shot basically just by a crew of dudes. Yeah. And no big budget, nothing like that. But excuse me, it's a comedy, and Shane Gillis is hilarious in it.
It's almost like a sketch comedy thing that just not drags on, but goes on for 6 episodes.
Yes.
They shot it kind of like that. Let's just be funny. Keep it simple, pure.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah. So, and it, like I said, it's breaking all different types of records for Shane Gillis. So
good.
Yeah. I knew you'd like that. I like bringing up stuff that you're just like, yeah, thank you for telling me that. That's why we talked about killer whales. We talked about bro stuff in your car, and we talked about Shane Gillis. I think we covered all the mantastic things that, any man should cover on a regular basis. Right. So, I mean, am I missing anything? What are some headlines or things that you oversaw over the past 4 days?
Oh God, we just beyond the travesty of war and all that crap. Nothing exciting.
Okay.
But I'll let you know.
Okay, yeah. Now we did talk about a bunch of stuff today. We talked about, of course, Bill Walton passing away. And of course that was surprising. A bunch of people posted pictures of that. Of course, he lived a legendary life. I talked about my daughter's high school graduation and Catalina High School being so goddamn cheap that they turned off the lights on everybody within 5 minutes of the ceremony ending. I was mad for other people, right? Because I know the difference between schools that have money and schools that don't. And Catalina is a school that doesn't have money. And so when they were doing the ceremony, they didn't even have the football lights on for the entire field. They only had one side, and then they used 3 generators. And I was noticing that, and I was like, that's kind of odd. Like, how much money does it cost to keep the lights on around this place, right? And then they do the ceremony, and it's 2 hours long. It's not that long of a ceremony. Lucked out because Catalina did not have that many. It was maybe 150 kids graduated, as opposed to 500 to 1,000 kids in Marana districts. And that's because of financial disparity as well, right? And the system. But anyways, then the ceremony ends. That's when everybody who's been sitting on metal bleachers for 2 hours with their ass being numb, they get to do the one thing that they came to do, and that's to get a picture. That's what everybody comes to do when they go to graduation. And literally, they started shutting off the overhead lights. That was first. And then one by one, very quickly, the generator lights started going off. We're in the pitch dark, right? And then we start getting yelled at by cops. Time, get off the property. It's time to go. Aggressively. I was like, fuck you guys, man. This is a graduation. You can't even give 15 minutes for these families to get pictures. There's multi-generations here, right? You got grandma coming out for the first time in 10 years to get a picture with their grandkid who just graduated high school, which is a monumental thing in somebody's life. It was ridiculous. It was insane. And like I said, my mom had a gig at Catalina Foothills, right? Same Catalinas, different. And what did they do? Well, they had a whole full-blown carnival, a circus going on. They spent a lot of money.
Roller coasters.
Not only did their graduation roll over and they be able to take all the pictures and keep the lights on, but then the kids stayed on campus and partied all night at the at the school with a circus theme, entertainment, and casino. Catalina, they were offering free taser shots to the testicles if you didn't get the fuck off of property immediately. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That was insane. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but that's the reality. That's the difference in tax brackets, and that's how it is.
They should have just rented out a Denny's.
Rockland 2.1 KFMA. It would be nice to just rent out a Denny's for a graduation party.
Been way better.
No, what did you do in your graduation, your high school graduation? Did you party?
It was back in San Antonio, so I think that they had a whole farm rented out for like a celebration kind of thing.
Oh, see, that's nice. So you went to a school with that had some people with money then, huh?
Oh, this is before 2008, yeah.
Oh yeah, when they still had budgets. Yeah. I was so just disappointed in my daughter's experience and graduation, and not only just my daughter's experience, her friends, everyone that went to that school, and and then all the families that came out. I just wanted to get a picture with their kids.
Yeah, bare minimum.
Yeah. Immediately after my daughter's high school graduation, they shut off all the lights on everybody, and you still have maybe 700 people around that standing on a football field in the dark, being shuffled out like cattle, saying, "You guys got to go now." And it's like this thing just ended.
Core memories right there for them.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. So, I mean, I posted a bunch of pictures. Well, I posted a couple pictures. There's a lot of pictures I couldn't, post because it was too dark. You couldn't see anybody.
Do you not know one Karen type mom that has a kid there?
No, here's the deal.
You could have her just make a Twitter video or TikTok.
A Karen type of entitlement has to do with a certain type of suburban life. See, you can get away with doing this to people who don't have much money because they're just so used to getting screwed over. They're just like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, typical.
Yeah, dude. And that's what I didn't like. And I wanted to go Karen for them. I wanted to uprise for the people. But then I decided, I just want to go home. So
I'm hungry.
It was very interesting to see, though. But there's a big difference in everything that's going on. All right. Well, we're almost out of time. There's so much stuff that we didn't even get a chance to get to today, unfortunately, and some videos. But we'll do that tomorrow morning and potentially have a Dead Poet Society joining us live on the podcast broadcast, or we'll have a special interview with them that I'll shoot with them later on this afternoon before they perform at Club Congress tonight. I'm a huge fan of this band, so I'm super excited about it. And I'm trying to get you out to the show, Rico. I think you would love it too. In fact, actually, I'm endorsing them fully. I've seen all different types of live videos, and and I've listened to all their albums. They're loud, they're melodic, they're catchy.
It's one of those you got to catch in this kind of venue before they blow up.
Yeah, dude.
You won't regret it.
This is a hipster moment, right?
Hipster moment.
I remember I saw Static X at the Mason Jar, 150 people packed into the small venue. That was a fantastic show for me, right? And then, of course, Static X went on to blow up. Right? Nirvana played that very same venue. And now this is before my time because in 1989, they played the Mason Jar. Imagine you saying that you were able to see Nirvana with 100 other people up close and personal and then got the BS with Kurt after the show.
Right.
That's exactly one of those moments because I really believe in this band that much.
Nice.
They're that good. So have yourself a Nirvana moment at a Club Congress tonight. That's your beef tip. Along with this, there was a boy who ate a 4-inch pencil and was able to pass it without a medical problem. There's no beef tip there. Just don't eat wood.
Don't do that. What?
Yeah, he ate a pencil and he pooped it out and wrote a sentence.
All right. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
My God.
All right. That's all the time we have. Robin Nash is up next. She has tickets to give away, so keep listening for your chances to win. Thank you guys so much for listening to us each and every day. Don't forget to subscribe, youtube.com/beefvegan for our podcast broadcasts. And that's it. That's all the time we have. So we'll catch you tomorrow morning, bright and early. Until then, drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish upon a side of beef, soon will
Mike,
come
you will see me
at
the show tonight if you go there.
But if you've been
thanks for watching, guys. We'll talk to you
bad,
mañana.
I will knock out all your teeth.
Babuski.